So I was playing around here. I'm going to do Euro Truck Simulator 2. And working with Steam here. Let me start the game up. What? No. I want to show the whole process, and I found a bug in Steam. So first we need the game to start up. And I'm gonna find the bug and fix the bug. And this is obviously on a MacBook, latest version of everything. Everything's up to date. It's not just a MacBook Air. It's all I need. So I'm gonna go Shift Tab. Okay, and you see I've got some friends on Steam. Amazing, I have friends. Web browser works. Game recording. Oh, they have a built-in way. Got it. Okay. Cool. That's actually pretty nifty. No, it's not supported. Oh well. I'm recording it anyways. Game overview, we'll close that. But if I click on the controller settings, it just closes. It doesn't stay open. So yeah, this is a bug report for Steam. Hopefully they will figure out the issue. Now, what I want to do, I want to grab my game controller, my Steam controller here, for my Switch. And I'm going to say, it's a Pro controller. So I'm going to connect it up to my MacBook. And Bluetooth Pro controller. Hopefully this will work. I might as well turn my camera on for this. So I want to connect my Bluetooth settings. We're going to... You have to do this, unfortunately. Forget this device. Forget it. And it's going to detect it, and I'm going to connect it. I don't know what computer is. That was not a good sound. It sounded like it fell. Okay. Anyways, we're going to big picture mode. See if it continues to break. Let's see here. Gonna play. So that should work. Let's see here. Alright, now I'm going back in the Euro Truck Simulator. Sure, let's start the continue career. And let's see if it works now. Maybe somebody from Valve will see this video and say, huh, interesting bug. That's the goal. Let's see. Alright, so now that works. If I press Shift Tab. Aha! It is different. Go to settings. Oh, now it does the big picture mode, so that's interesting. But this makes me wonder if I did Shift Tab. Maybe it... So it works in big picture mode, but it doesn't work in exit big picture mode. Go back in the Euro Truck Simulator here. Okay, this still works. Now I do Shift Tab, and it's broken again. You see this? This is a weird... Okay, I didn't get this far in my testing. So you see this problem. Alright, we're gonna go back. So it does not work in small picture mode, but it does work in big picture mode. If I go here, press Shift Tab again, everything works the way it should. Interesting. So basically, there's a problem in the settings, whether a controller is connected or not, which doesn't allow you to do things when you are... If you're connected to... So if you're not in big picture mode and you try to go to controller settings in your Steam overlay, it doesn't work. But if you do it otherwise, in big picture mode, the settings work just fine using Shift Tab. So that's the finding. I hope someone from Valve fixes that. Let's see what I was driving. Oh my god, it's disgusting. My friends, gross. That's stupid. And we're letting this load. Yeah. Alright, I'll always go pick up. Yeah. Alright, yeah, anyways, so there's our bug report. This is time for a bug report. Woo. To quote Miles in Transit. So internet. Oakley dokley. Yeah, that's the thing about Europe. You'll be going 80 miles per hour and they're going to just throw you into a roundabout, which I guess is better for safety, but no, it's a good thing. Once I think about it that way, I'm like, this is way safer. So yeah, just don't speed around the roundabout because that's a bad idea. Anyways, that's that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going crazy all over the road here. Swervy, swervy. Can't wait to get a better computer. It just hasn't happened yet. Hey, if this channel took off, though, I really have not been streaming enough. I've been gaming, I'm just not streaming, which I need to do more. Maybe I'll do that every day this week, see what happens. Who knows? I should do that. Maybe I'll... Yeah. Was looking at the news today and I saw the shutting down of USAID and that made me... I've not been that angry about a political decision in a... I mean, there are other things I'm, like, angry about, but this one was so stupid. And the thing about USAID and other foreign aid programs is that it is the easiest and cheapest, most efficient way to increase goodwill towards the United States in the world. And that is why countries bother with foreign aid. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Take job. It's like ferry most of the way, which is great. You get paid as if it was a long distance, so it's fast and quick. It's more of that, I don't have to do the driving, but I get the money for it. Get the money as if it was for a much longer distance. But basically, US aid is a good thing. Foreign aid is very beneficial. It counters anti-American propaganda. It increases our image among people in the world who we most want to have a good image of the US, which are those who need. Want people to think, oh, okay, yeah. What I wrote on Blue Sky is that, right when, let's say you're a parent in the Congo, and your child is sick, and you get medicine. What flag do you want to be on that medicine box? Do you want it to be a US flag, or a Chinese flag, or a Russian flag? Me? When that parent gets medicine for their child that's saving their child's life, I want there to be a little American flag on that box. Because then, in the future, especially if it's a Muslim majority country that's targeted by anti-American propaganda, if their child then is a teenager and starts consuming, anti-American propaganda online for whatever reason, which is very well designed to convince people America's evil, I want them to say to their parent, America, blah, 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 blah. I want the parent to say, look, stop. When you were a child, you were sick, we went to the doctor's office, and American foreign aid saved your life. Then the teenager will stop and think and say, oh, if it wasn't for the United States, I would not be alive. That's the power of foreign aid. That is why foreign aid is important. That is why foreign aid is the most effective counterterrorism we can do. We don't fight terrorism by being like them, by eroding our freedoms. That does not work. We do counterterrorism by making so people don't want to commit terrorist attacks in the first place, and the first and easiest and cheapest way to do that is by ensuring that when they get that medicine is shipped by US aid. That is the easiest way to improve our image abroad, and that is something that every American should support. It is a national security issue. It is not just about liberal good feelings and, oh, we're helping children in Africa on average. But it's about, oh my gosh, why do they do that? It is about ensuring that when they say, what country was there for us when we needed help, I want them to answer the United States. It should be America as much as possible. And other countries do foreign aid as well, and, when our allies do foreign aid, it improves our image too, because we're allied with them. But, as much as possible, I want it to be the United States. I want America to continue to be the largest donor of foreign aid in the world, because that improves our image and reduces attacks on the homeland. That is homeland. US aid is homeland security. Also, not just about homeland security, but medicine. When diseases appear in places, primarily in Africa, is where it's the biggest issue right now, it is to my personal benefit that the United States government goes in, working with the local governments, to cut down on the disease with vaccines and medicine as much as possible, so the disease doesn't spread around that region, whatever region it's spreading, which is obviously important, but also to ensure it doesn't come back home. Because the thing is, when you shut down foreign aid and you reduce the shipment of these medicines, like John Green posted on Blue Sky today, it increases the likelihood one of these tropical diseases is going to get to the United States. Oh, come on. Not just the United States, but every country. And I was going way too fast. Reckless driving serves me right. But yeah, no, that's the big point I want to make. that I've been thinking about is how important it is that we ensure that as much as possible, when people are getting medicine, I want as many of those people to be getting it from the United States as possible. Also, just, economic development and institutional reform in particular is very, very impactful to improving people's lives. My goal ultimately is for people to not need foreign aid, so people around the world have the ability to travel to places like the United States. They come here, then they say, hey, America's not that bad. I've traveled to America. Americans are good people. Americans are good people on average. They're kind. They're pleasant. And I want to go back. That's what I want. But that's down the line. That's for countries which have developed economies. And so we need to have a strategy that really does both of those. So we need to make it very easy for tourists, very few legal barriers for tourists from countries that are not major sponsors of terrorism. I do not think we need ESTA. I think that is a bad policy. I think if you're from a country that's visa free, you should be able to come here with just get a plane ticket, show up at the border with your passport, and go through customs. That's honestly like maximum level security in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at on that. Yeah. Increased travel to the United States so tourists can come here easily from safe countries. Countries are not major sources of terrorism. I want people so that's for people in more developed countries, for people in least developed countries. I want them to be getting their aid from the United States as much as possible. And so what Trump is doing with foreign aid is empowering Russia. It's a big gain for the Chinese government, which will likely fill the gap. And so when they're getting aid for medicine for the child's illness, the flag on the box is not going to be the American flag. It's going to be the Chinese flag. I mean, I don't hate China. It's like China's government has a lot of problems, but they're not attacking countries, first and foremost, and we need to keep it that way. But Russia is, and the more people are sympathetic to Russia, the worse off the whole free world is, because Russia is not a safe country. It's really important. I don't think Trump is a good president. I think he did a terrible job his first term. He's doing an even worse job this term. He is a weak president. He's going to be unable to pass much of anything through Congress. He couldn't even get repealed the Affordable Care Act back in 2017 and 2018 when he had his last trifecta. I think it's likely, if the Democrats don't completely blow their hands this year, the Democrats are going to win the midterms, and hopefully we learn the lessons of the Biden administration and the issues we had regarding not aiding Ukraine enough and the bombing in Gaza. And I don't really care if it was how many Democrats voted against the bomb sent to Israel, because most people don't care. We do need to just be... God, I was looking at the timing. So in politics, timing is everything. And first we're going to look and say, the Iran hostage crisis. When did the hostages go home? After Reagan was president. When did hostages in Gaza start to go home? And when did the bombing die down? As soon as Trump was days away from becoming president. That tells you, and Hamas is still in control of the Gaza Strip. That tells you what the real real purpose of the entire war in Gaza, the abduction of hostages, and the bombing of Gaza was all about from the very beginning. I do believe that now. I believe that it was never. There's a lot of fishy stuff regarding the relationship between Hamas and Netanyahu's party Likud. And this is from like news articles that I've read from Washington Post. There's one in there from years ago I found and was like, holy shit. We need to really like trust but verify, and when it becomes clear that a country is negotiating with terrorists, we need to, whether we consider them an ally or not. Israel is not technically an ally. We don't have a mutual protection pact with them. So they're at the lowest rung of allyship in the United States that the U.S. has. You have at the top level NATO and Rio. The second level are independent protection pacts like we have with Thailand. The third rung are major non-NATO ally, which is just a designation of saying you're our friend. But we're not saying we're going to necessarily come to your defense if you're attacked. We probably will, but the difference is that if a NATO or Rio Pact country or Thailand or Japan, if any of these countries were attacked, the president has the authority already granted by Congress to send troops over immediately to defend our ally because we have a mutual protection pact. We have no such arrangement with Israel. We have no such arrangement with Egypt. We have no such arrangement with any of our MNNAs, except for the ones that were granted MNNA status but are already Rio Pact members, which is pretty meaningless, because they're already Rio Pact, which is a higher level. Doesn't really change much in those handful of cases, but essentially, the thing is that if you're a member of NATO or the Rio Pact, there are rules about what you can and cannot do in order to get aid. So if a country, like during the Falklands War, where one ally, Argentina, attacked another ally, the United Kingdom, both of whom have mutual protection pacts with us. The mutual protection pact did not kick in because Argentina was the aggressor, and NATO did not kick in because it was in the Falklands, which is in the southern hemisphere, which is explicitly not covered by NATO. NATO only covers the northern hemisphere, and it's limited to that. But because the way the Rio Pact and NATO are written, we did not have to go in and defend Argentina because they were the aggressor. The way both treaties are written is that we only come to the defense in the case that our ally is attacked. We do not come and help our allies if they start an attack. So that's the thing with Iraq. The Iraq War, countries were able to choose whether they wanted to help us or not. Not every NATO member was involved in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Only like the UK, Canada, and a couple others. I think Germany might have, France probably. But not every NATO member was. Whereas with that war in Afghanistan, that was a NATO operation because we were attacked by the Taliban. There's a very important legal distinction between the two, and it's one of the ways that we protect our allies and improve our image abroad when done properly. I was looking at the data, I was looking at polls, and Biden did well on every issue except for 3. While a majority of Americans wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan as soon as the realization of what withdrawal from Afghanistan would look like occurred, the majority of Americans said, yeah, we don't want that. Because, there had been a lot of talk by politicians and the media about how we need to get out of Afghanistan simply because we'd been there for 20 years. I respond, we've been in Germany for 80. the first American troops entered Germany in 1945. We've had troops in Germany ever since. I see our relationship with Afghanistan is similar to our relationship with Germany. Our troops were there at that point, but when we withdrew, mostly to uphold the government so that they could work on the things they needed to work on. Now, of course, the Taliban's back in power, so all of that is moot. But one thing Biden misunderstood, in my opinion, in my observation, is he misunderstood why Americans wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan. It was a lack of understanding, and there wasn't enough polling data on what Americans would like, on what conditions Americans would like to see America withdraw from Afghanistan. The polling questions didn't ask that, and that is a major problemski. That's a problem, because it meant that if we had that information, Biden would have been able to say, oh yeah, Americans don't want to have our troops deployed everywhere around the world, but what we want to see even less are terrorists taking over countries. That is obviously worse. And the polling data bears that out. The second thing is that regarding the Ukraine war, there was a divide. Democrats thought we should support Ukraine more. Republicans thought we should support Ukraine less. Independents were leaning more towards the Democrats, saying we need to do more to help Ukraine. And so, if Biden wanted to win, helping Ukraine was a popular thing among his voters. So, it makes the polling data for polling out not helping Ukraine as much as we needed to, like we did, was mostly something Republicans wanted, but most Americans did not support withholding aid from Ukraine or limiting strikes. Most Americans, once you learn a little bit about the war, oppose that action. Third thing, our war in Gaza was extremely unpopular among Biden's base. It was popular among Republicans, who still didn't vote for him, but it was not popular among independents. The Gaza war was not popular among Democrats. It was not well thought out. And despite doing what the Republicans wanted, Biden still did not get a lot of votes from them. So, what's the point? Is my question is, what's the point then? So that's what I understand from the reading I've been doing. I think if Biden had successfully, where am I going with this? I think if Biden had successfully looked at what his voters wanted, that would have boosted turnout for Kamala. It would have massively improved his opinion polls. Might have meant he would run for a second term, which, neither here nor there. But most importantly, if we had at least one major military victory, either from forcing a ceasefire in Gaza in exchange of hostages, which occurred just as Trump was entering office, or if we had, not seen the terrorists win in Afghanistan, which is, of course, when Biden's approval rating went down, or if we had, sent Ukraine the military aid we did and more, and said, you can use this however necessary, let's end this war quickly, let's make sure you get back all of your territory, that would have been a major military victory, and it would have led the Democrats to win the election. Doing one of those three probably would have tipped the scales enough. Doing all of those three would have basically guaranteed the Democrats would have won the presidential election. On every other issue, whether it be gay marriage, somehow still an issue, abortion, which is somehow still an issue, immigration, economic issues, almost any issue you look at, the Democrats are generally more popular than Republicans on every other major issue, except those three. So, when the Democrats run, whoever runs in 2028 is someone who should not be from the Biden administration at all. They need to have plausible deniability for Biden's foreign policy mistakes. We need fresh blood. I love Elizabeth Warren. I love Bernie Sanders. I don't think... they're in their 80s. I don't think they will be in their 80s by the time of the election, that's for sure. I think Elizabeth Warren might not be that old yet. I'm not sure when her birthday is. But I do believe that whoever we run in 28 should probably be born after 1960 and be someone who did not agree with Biden on these three major foreign policy failures. And if this person, if they are already in Congress, they need to be on the record of showing that they did not agree with Biden's withholding of aid from Ukraine, the unlimited use of force in Gaza, outside of the bounds of international law, and the withdrawal from Afghanistan. At least, as long as they get the Ukraine and Gaza right, I think they will almost definitely beat probably J.D. Bowman in the general election in 2028. And I think that needs to occur, and I really hope the Democrats learn from this and really pour into the polling data, pour into what issues led the Democrats to lose. That's the question we should be asking. I've looked at the data. That's the answer I found. The answer is pretty straightforward. It's Gaza and Ukraine and Afghanistan. That is why we lost. I need to take out a loan here. Let's see here. Mein Bank. 10K is enough because I have to pay a toll and blah. I'm very low on cash, but I'm expecting my drivers will bring in some money for me when I am on the ferry and sleeping. Shoot. It's lagging because I'm streaming. That's frustrating. Oh well. It'll be fine. Now that's my analysis of what's going on. I'm really upset about what they're doing to foreign aid. I think the executive order about South Africa is absolutely wacko. I think Elon Musk is dangerous. I think he has shown that very clearly. When I was younger, I was like, hey, he's making electric cars, good for the environment. And he wasn't. Well, he claimed to be apolitical for a really long time, and so he didn't want people. The problem is people who buy electric cars tend to be relatively left of center, especially a decade ago. So he didn't want them to think, oh, he's just this wacko, crazy, pro-apartheid asshole. Which, makes sense for self-preservation. But at this point, he's made it very clear where his loyalties are, and Tesla sales are falling in the US and Europe, especially Germany. Funny enough. So, little clue, if you're leading a business, don't do a Hitler salute. That's just my friendly advice. Just don't do it. Just don't make Hitler salutes. There's no reason to do so. Ever. There's never a legitimate reason for a Hitler salute. Under any circumstances. Ever. Just don't. Just don't do it. And it's very distinct from a wave, because a wave you just put your arm out gracefully and you wave at people. A Nazi salute has your, fist at the chest, and it's a quick thrust out with your arm out, to your arm becoming outstretched. It's not waves are not Nazi salutes. They're not the same thing. Everybody waves Nazi salutes are easy to avoid. That's not what he was. He was not waving. The way he did it 3 times with a very clear action means yes. And also, if you read the far right, they make it very clear they understood the message. So he's dangerous. He's a bad man, and I'm worried for the U.S. I'm just hoping that the European Union and its member states will be able to pick up where we've left off, at least for the next 4 years, because we are the largest donor of foreign aid in the world. And we also are the largest supplier of weapons to Ukraine. I will be surprised if they get more weapons. Trump's claim that he would end the war in a day has already turned out to be completely false. Surprise. And, yeah, the whole thing is frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah. There's really no excuse for his behavior. There's no reason why any person should ever make that anti-Semitic gesture ever under any circumstances. It's just inappropriate. Always. It's always inappropriate. It's wrong. That was a ridiculously short toll road. Why bother at that point? You know, I don't mind toll roads. I understand it's better than... Roads are expensive. Why shouldn't people pay to use it? €12. This feels horrible. Yep. There we go. I do think Washington State has the best tolls, though, because you don't have to stop anymore. You just go into the scanner and pay it, and that's just so preferable. Yeah. This is definitely Basque Country. Fascinating people, fascinating place. Yeah. Yeah. They yielded, as they should. It's one language I have no comprehension of. Euskari. I know its name, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I could learn it, but don't really have anyone to speak Basque Euskari with. So, I just think it's amazing that, they've been in, that after so much time, they've maintained their culture and their language. It's fascinating. No other people in Europe, very few people have done the same in Europe. And it's like the one of only a handful language isolates. I think it's the only extant language isolate in Western Europe. I think some people hypothesize it might be related to Georgian distantly, but I don't know if that's... I think that's just a fringe hypothesis. But this is the main city. My controller keeps buzzing at me, but there's no real reason why. Oh, go to the end and curve to the right. Discovered Bilbao. Bilbao Baggins. That must have... Oh. I wonder if Bilbao, if that's a coincidence. I don't know. I know, who knows, like, I don't know, maybe he did. Lord of the Rings is such a great story. I'm gonna make this delivery and then head out. Zoom, zoom. Let's hope no one's coming. I got lucky. Scheiße. Pardon my German. They really don't give you a lot of room there. That seems to be a common thing in Europe. Oh. A deliberately long queuing line. I mean, it is a straight ferry from Spain to the UK, so of course it's a popular ferry. Which makes sense. Unfortunately, the game never gives you traffic, because that wouldn't be a lot of fun. YOLO lines. Cars can queue. Alright, here we go. It'd be a really bad place to fall in the water. Yeah, let's not do that. Okie dokie. Travel destinations. I'm going to Plymouth. Takes 18 hours and costs 1,000 euros. Probably still cheaper than the price of gas. So, the game will just do this. And that works. And it's now the morning. Welcome to the United Kingdom, as you can tell by the flags. Stay to the left. I have a loan to pay off. So otherwise I'll pay interest, which I'd rather not. Here we go. Back to the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. 3.5 hours to go. They say give way instead of yield. It's interesting. And up we go. Do not stop. Here we go. Some road construction. Oh, screw me. God damn it. That's pretty much truck simulators. It's basically one of those get other cars. It's basically a little more civilized, a slightly more civilized version of GTA. That's what truck simulators are. I should play GTA at some point. I need a new computer though. I don't think it runs on Mac. Well, I can check. A lot of the games I want to play don't run on my Mac. I need to fix. All of my computers broke last year, except for my Macs, my Apple computers, which is great. They're great computers, but a lot of things just don't run on them, and Proton doesn't run on Mac, sadly. I wish it did. Anything but NT. Windows NT is bleh. It's unstable. I've had bad, just every time I try it, just is a bad experience. Need to head out at some point. Wow, all the road construction. It must be summer. Well, this game is basically endless summer, so. Let's get this over with. I'm sure my computer's cooking. Oh yeah. severely toasty. And my speakers are popping and yeah. Let's see, I want to finish this up. 3 hours on the road. This is a longer drive than I expected. I think I'll be able to finish it and then run. Oh, come on. Not bad. Yeah, no, basically just relaxing. Nothing too fancy. Yeah. And we keep... signs to Cardiff. Very convenient. So that's where I'm going. Cardiff. Visit my cousins. That's the goal. I have some third cousins in Cardiff. 3 actually. And their mom is my mom's second cousin, so I would love to visit them. And they're always welcome to see me as well. It's mutual. And I'm spending time with my family who all speak German and live in the UK. So I was like, what language should we speak? Both! It's fun. Definitely want to see them again. Hoping to go to Germany this year. I should have the money to do that soon. Any day now. A few things I need to get working in my company. I'll get money, get paid. That's my main goal. Get money. Get loaded. This is such a common thing in the game with your truck falling apart. And other cars run into me so much, I don't know if I can successfully do that. I don't know if I can successfully avoid. Why would you ship cow's milk from Spain to Wales? That doesn't make sense. I mean, who knows? There are all sorts of reasons. I guess Spanish milk is cheaper than Welsh milk. But I'm just thinking like shipping costs. And again, like in the US, we ship milk all over the country, and that's not any different. Oh wow, I can see it on the map. It says I have 2 hours to go. That doesn't make sense. It's a beautiful area though. England, gorgeous. Gorgeous place. Highly recommend. UK, I don't have my speed limiter, so I can speed. Wahaha. It's disabled. come on. Why are you passing on the left? It's the UK. We're on a curve too. Why are you passing trucks around a curve? That doesn't make sense. There you go. Passing on the right. Thank you. In the UK at least. That's what you're supposed to do. And there are no problems. Very avoidable. Easy to avoid. Eventually I want to have Euro Truck Simulator at the same point I have American Truck Simulator, where I have lots of money. I can literally just sit on my butt and all of my drivers work for me and make me money. That's the goal. $1 million revenue a day. Sounds nice. Well, given that my company subscription that most companies will go for is $4,000, we only need like 250 customers a day to have $1 million daily revenue. Again, the prices are all public, so I can say that. It's just math. But that would be nice. If we had that many customers, we'd be doing well. Be 250 times 300. You know, 25,000 times 3, 75,000 customers. Sounds good to me. We can do that. Totally possible. South Wales. This is the M4. Honk honk. Goes straight to London. There's the bridge into Wales. How would you build a bridge into a giant mammal? That doesn't make... Oh, the country, not the animal. Ah, very silly. That doesn't... Cardiff is cool. I want to go there. I mean, they make Doctor Who in Cardiff. I think they still do, so... Still like Doctor Who experience there, I think. I think Russell T Davies is Welsh. I wouldn't be surprised if he is. I can't remember if he's Welsh or English. But that would explain why they film in Cardiff. Yeah. Here we go. Keep going here. Not bad. Right, that's how that works. No, not that. My controller keeps vibrating, and There's nothing going on. It's very strange. My remote keeps vibrating. Even if there's no reason to. It vibrates a little more in this game than I think it probably needs to. But, you know. It works. New England is, as far as I know, the only part of the United States where you have gas stations like that. All the others will be significantly off the freeway, except New England, especially Connecticut. So, I think that's interesting. How different states... They're the only states that imitate Europe like that. I don't know why. Now it's just vibrating for no reason. There we go. Did it even find me? It didn't even find me. Oh my god, that's funny. That was a glitch. I'm glad I didn't stop. Waste of time now, I need to go. But I want to finish this delivery first. There we go. Oh, there's my violation. Oh man, if I got parking tickets for everything I'm doing wrong, it would be a lot. That will never happen though. Welcome to Cardiff. Wants me to go straight. I'm not going to test my luck again. I don't know how I got away with the first one. That was very funny. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I think I'm going to take a left turn, yes. There we are, that's our destination. There's pull into that. Whee! Hard right turn. Yup. And enter. Where do you need it? Let's play it safe. Then I need to hop on the train. 3 trains to my destination. Good enough for me. Oh, not bad. Excuse me. That was pretty low profit. Alright, that was fun. Have a good day. I have to go do stuff.